If I'm elected, you won't lose one plant. You'll have plants coming into this country. You're going to have jobs again. You won't lose one plant. I promise you that.
The $10 billion Foxconn investment in an LCD plant in Racine County that never arrived. That land remains mostly empty.
We're determined to turn it around. Thus far, since we've come to office, we've created, and with the governor's overwhelming leadership, we've created over 178,000 jobs in Wisconsin, and we're going to create more here in Racine, and big time.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Very special day for a lot of people out there. I took my mom out to breakfast this morning, and that was nice. Now we're doing the show. I heard you got a bunch of family coming in town. That's always fun, too.
It was like 19 people going to be here in like 59 minutes.
Oh, we're good. So we have time. We have perfect time. So, all right, today's episode is going to be fun. Biden is just destroying Trump. I'm sorry. I hate to say it for all you Trumpers out there, but Biden is showing true leadership, fulfilling empty promises from when Donald Trump was in office, like you just saw in the opening video. Marjorie Taylor Greene is officially the most hated politician in America. Mike Johnson is trying to make something illegal that is already illegal. And Donald Trump rants and raves on Spanish and pretty much anywhere he can. They'll let him on TV.
Any platform they'll let him on, yeah.
Right. There's very few platforms that will actually let this guy on live.
It's actually funny if you think about that.
It is. I mean, he's a risk. He's freaking.
Yeah, that was the word I was looking for. It's not even. It's nothing else other than you can't trust what his addled or age-addled crazy brain is going to say, and that's someone who didn't have a brainworm.
Right, yeah, that as opposed to the other guy. But yeah, this is insane. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I did forget to upload that video. I was thinking about a whole different video. Anyway, all right. So Donald Trump had I guess a pretty big event in Wildwood, New Jersey, which we will have video clips for on Tuesday. I promise you. It's actually hilarious. A lot of people showed up and waited in line for up to 8 hours. Some people even camped out. But by the end of the rally, there was barely anybody there because Donald Trump was ran for 90 minutes talking about.
They were leaving early. They were leaving while he was speaking.
They were running for the doors. But I just wanted to show this picture. Like, this is a perfect example, and I think this is a perfect metaphor of what Donald Trump and his cult members leave in their wake. Absolute destruction.
Yep.
This is the destruction these idiots left after they left Wildwood, New Jersey. This is right next to the freaking ocean on the beach.
Look, they do not care about the ocean. They don't care about the environment. They don't care about people whose jobs it is to clean it. They don't care about their own future, their kids' future. They are selfish, consumeristic monsters that only want to fill their hate. That's it. There's nothing else to these people anymore. So when you see them show up as a mob and just barf trash everywhere and leave, that's what they are. That's what these people are. But I bet they'd say, get off my lawn if you dropped like a potato chip on their lawn, or like your dog took a poop on their yard or something.
I wonder how many Trump diapers are in that.
Oh, no. There's a legitimate
Trump. I'm not talking about Trump's actual diaper, which I'm sure there's a few of them in the rally as well. I'm talking about the ones these idiots are buying that says real men wear diapers with Donald Trump's face on it. Yes, that is a real thing.
A legitimate chance that there are used diapers that were worn by choice to own the libs, filled, and then left there. There is a distinct possibility that happened.
Yeah,
they're
really
shitting their pants to own the libs. I want to point that out. That's where we're at now.
Yep, you got us, guys.
Oh, no.
You win. Oh, you really owned the libs on that one. You got us. All right, so let's get into the topic. So Biden goes to Wisconsin. The story is Trump originally. Well, I'll play the video first, then we'll get into it.
Yep.
Today, it's another example of the private sector optimism. Microsoft, as the president already pointed out, is investing $3.3 billion to build a new data center here in Racine. That's going to help operate one of the most powerful artificial intelligence systems in the world, and I've gone around the world, literally, not figuratively, meeting with the leading architects of AI. It's going to result and 2,300 union construction jobs just to build a new facility.
Unions love him.
And 2,000 permanent workers to work in the data centers. In addition, we're also providing a pipeline to train these new jobs. A pipeline that starts right here at this very spot.
So that spot has some history. This is from whitehouse.gov. He highlighted the $3.3 billion investment in Racine. So on the right, let me read from the top. 6 years ago, the prior administration, the Trump administration, touted a $10 billion investment by Foxconn that would purportedly create 13,000 manufacturing jobs in Racine. But after 100 homes and farms were bulldozed to make way for the manufacturing plant, and over $500 million in taxpayer dollars was invested into preparing the site, no such investment materialized. Foxconn then abandoned the plans to manufacture LCD screens in the state and created only a fraction of the jobs promised. So there you go.
Where'd that money go?
Right. And you know what's great is Biden is building this on the exact same location.
It's just one of so many examples of a president in Biden doing the basic things that he should be doing, which is helping to foster growth in communities and the country, move us in a direction of job growth in an industry that is growing. See, that's something that's important. Is you look at Republicans, they want to stifle every new technology, right? They're terrified of windmills because something with whales. They don't understand solar because they don't understand that batteries exist.
Right.
They don't understand electric cars. They don't understand anything to do with anything that will disrupt their existing billions of dollars to flow into them. And since they don't want to invest in the future because they just want to milk everything dry how they can now, they're attacking Joe Biden for actually doing what Donald Trump said he would do. But of course, they didn't attack him then. Now, Donald Trump is just a string of broken promises, especially when it comes to job creation. Now you have Joe Biden, who's on his how many number of times has he invested in this country, in communities, in states that need jobs more than anything else to build a better country, to build bigger and better communities through jobs. Donald Trump didn't do it. He probably never intended to do it. He doesn't even understand how it works. And Joe Biden is out there on the same spot, just to stick it home to shitty Donald Trump that this is how a president acts.
See, Donald he knows that promises go a long way in politics because people stop keeping track of the results. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people vote for certain politicians, because of the promises they make, but they don't ever actually look at what that person's doing after they get elected. Right. So Joe Biden's definitely, and I love the fact of doing this on the exact same spot. So let me play the video real quick. This is also in Wisconsin where Biden just slams Trump.
This is delightful.
This is good.
The administration promised a $10 billion investment by Foxconn to build a new manufacturing complex, create 13,000 new jobs. In fact, he came here with your Senator, Ron Johnson, literally holding a golden shovel, promising to build the 8th wonder of the world. Are you kidding me? Look what happened. They dug a hole with those golden shovels, and then they fell into it. Look, they didn't shovel other dirt. They did shovel some dirt. 100 homes were bulldozed. They wasted hundreds of millions of dollars of your state and local tax dollars to promise a project that never happened. Foxconn turned out to be just that, a con. Go figure.
Ooh. I like him, man.
And you know what's really funny? Yeah, he was going after Trump, but there's nothing he said there that's particularly aggravated, right? No. Donald Trump is known for bringing gold shovels to put on a show for his groundbreaking, when all the places he's ever broke ground are places that are just renting his name. He's just a guy that shows up to bloviate and talk and then get in a car and disappear. And that's all he did with the Foxconn thing. Do you think he followed through? Do you think there was a real plan? No, he figured out a way to get them to agree to something, and then miraculously $500 million disappeared.
Exactly.
And then
Now,
there was nothing.
hopefully, everybody also realizes, and I heard already that Biden has stopped the sale of weapons to Israel. The way I heard it was he's very concerned that Israel is committing war crimes. If they are considered to be a war criminal, then selling weapons to them would make it be against international law. So I think that, but I also think there's more to it. I think Biden had to wait to do this until Congress approved the funding for both Ukraine and Israel, because if he would have done this and pulled weapons from, because the GOP's pissed about this.
Yep.
Extreme. They actually want to impeach Biden now
Again,
over
yeah.
this, over withholding weapons to somebody that's committing genocide. So I think Biden and his team played it smart. They waited until finally we got funding for Ukraine until he could make this move against Israel. Because think about it. If he would have made this move first, they never would have funded Ukraine.
Yep.
So I honestly think they're playing.
He actually allowed them to think they were voting on something and then go, yeah, but we really can't do that. So
right, exactly. And it took months after month just to get funding approved for Ukraine. So
look, again, unfortunately, every week we get closer and closer to having to address the horrible, gigantic elephant in the room. But as much as I don't want to touch it directly yet, there are signs that, unfortunately, I'm not apologizing. Anything Biden may have not have done in a timely fashion. Sure. But unfortunately, what people don't want to understand is that when you're dealing, especially with a party that is a terrorist organization, you don't get to play fast and loose. You have to make sure you can nail down your victories. And to your point, Jeremy, maybe this is his attempt to go, I got what I needed, and now I'm making sure you're not getting what you wanted. Because you're right. If he did it beforehand, they wouldn't have signed off anything on Ukraine.
Right.
So,
and the reason I came up with this, I guess, theory, could call it, is because I saw this, and I'll go over this. The GOP sent a signed letter to the International Criminal Court in Hague, where they try war criminals, where, like, if Putin were to ever get kidnapped or captured, they would try him at the Hague. They sent a letter to the International Criminal Court saying, if you move forward, because they were looking at Netanyahu. So the GOP said, if you move forward with the measures indicated in the report, we will move to end all American support for the ICC, sanction your employees and associates, and bar you and your families from the United States.
So
you have been warned. Axios reported that U.S. Congress members from both parties had warned that the ICC, Washington, would also retaliate against the court, including by passing legislation.
Now, it is important to notice that is a bipartisan thing to some extent. Yeah, the Republicans are far more for it, but there are the old school Democrats that still don't understand how the world's really working. But something that blew my mind today is I saw an article that said Egypt is now backing South Africa's genocide prosecution. Let me explain how big that is. Yeah, prosecution. Let me explain something. Egypt exists because the United States gives a lot of money to Egypt and Israel for Egypt and Israel not to kill each other. Trust me when I tell you that. Let's just say I have small knowledge of that. Nothing that's secret or anything, but it's also not even like secret knowledge. If you actually look at who pays what for what, we're paying Israel and Egypt not to attack each other. So for Egypt to go, you know what? We're going to put that at risk to stand up against genocide.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So when you have any politicians from America openly threatening the International Criminal Court, by the way, Jack Smith has tried war criminals in The Hague, just to keep in mind. You are now saying that we do not believe international law has autonomy. We have to approve what you do.
Right. That's not how it's supposed to work.
We like country, we run the world, but we don't. Let's just get that straight.
Yeah. So we're walking a very dangerous tightrope. Republicans are not making it easier. Like you said, some Democrats, the problem is not every Jewish person is in support of Israel, okay? And not every Palestinian is a terrorist of Hamas.
Do you see how easy that was?
Right, but for some reason, people can't get that through their thick ass skulls. That's how it works. Because people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who we're talking about next, thinks that all Palestinians are terrorists. You know what I mean?
You know what? I think all Christians are terrorists. Is that acceptable? I could prove out more reasons that there's more Christians that are terrorists than Palestinians are actually Hamas terrorists. You don't want to get into that conversation, do you, Marge?
And it's so confusing because on one hand, the anti-Semitism on the right is through the roof, while they support a Jewish state.
Well, see, they don't. This is the problem. When you really get down to it, Christians in this country, the really crazy ones, they don't support Jews. They support Israel because of the Holy Land concept. They want to make sure we have the ability to send our rich Christians to the Holy Land when Jesus arrives. That's all this is.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That's literally, they don't care about Jews. They don't care about anything that isn't self-serving to themselves.
No, they don't. You're absolutely right. They're just a bunch of hate mongers. I can't. We'll get past them, though. Okay, moving on to one of our favorite reps in Congress, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Captain Crazy Pants, Mrs. Jewish Space Laser. Well, turbo cancers. I mean, we could go on and on. Abortions after birth. Anyway, she is now the most hated person in Congress, pursuing the ousting of Mike Johnson, which was not received well. She did not react well.
Another huge political move by the Democrats and Biden.
Apparently, the only person that still likes Marjorie Taylor Greene is Donald Trump. He made a video about her saying how awesome she was.
She's a true believer.
Yeah, she's as loyal as they come to him. Anyway, she would
be his royal asswipe.
She would. What's that movie from?
Oh, what is that?
America, Coming to America. Asswipe first.
Yeah.
I bet Donald Trump does that when he's on his golden toilet when he's done.
$1 million American dollars.
Yeah. I mean, he pays the lady that walks around with the goddamn mobile printer $88,000 a month.
I legitimately would do that job, and I would do it so damn well for him for $88,000 a year. Yeah, I would do that.
Which one? The ass wiper one or the printing out stuff one?
I would print the stuff and then take those papers and give them to the royal asswipe.
I would wipe an ass for $88,000 a month. I mean, come on.
It depends on the ass.
There's surgical gloves, there's protective gear I can wear. I walk in like a full COVID bodysuit.
Yeah, but the problem is you got to worry about the explosive ones. Like Trump can't control it. So when you're back there, you don't know what else is going to happen. Also, sorry that this is happening on Mother's Day. I apologize for this conversation. Although, if anyone knows about wiping asses.
All right, let's play this video of Marjorie getting booed.
I seek recognition to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. The form of the resolution is as follows. Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. This is the uniparty for the American people watching.
Gentlelady will suspend.
It's like nails on a chalkboard with this voice. I can't take it. I can't take it.
She has no idea how desperately irrelevant she is now. And all she is wasting everyone's time. And she's a monster that they created that they can't control now.
Exactly. They gave her the power. They put her on all these high-powered
That woman had a gavel, the gavel in her hand on several occasions. And now everyone's booing her.
About that. Right. How quickly things turn.
Bring that little dweeb back with the bow tie. I like him.
All right. So you got, I know, right? He was, he was with the big chair. the big chair behind him. I forgot about that. I got to find
me too.
He looked so tiny. So yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene is just she's accomplished absolutely nothing. She's only a second-term congresswoman, and if she gets, how could she possibly get elected?
I mean, Georgia, that district, I don't know. Boebert is not going to be back. Marjorie Taylor Greene is probably going to be back. We'll see.
She's a nightmare. She is an absolute nightmare. So you guys heard the boos on the video. Not that loud.
Oh,
Boo. No big deal. Well, okay. So she goes crying to Steve Bannon, who's going to jail.
She won't be able to do that much longer.
Right. She will not be able to go on Steve Bannon's war room.
Who's going to have her
cry and whine and moan? She actually, they likened this to being in a Roman Colosseum. I swear to God, I can't remember. We'll watch the video. It's either
I wish she was eaten by lions.
It's like being a gladiator entering a Roman Colosseum. It was so loud. It was deafening. Watch.
How loud was it?
It was deafening. Imagine walking into an arena where everyone hates you in that moment. And as soon as I rose and started...
So this is like the Christians going into the Colosseum against the Romans.
All right, there.
100%. So as soon as I stood and I started reading the resolution, the boos started. And it may not have sounded that loud on the audio because the microphone was here for me. And that's what was picking up their boos. So I am the loudest voice here. But inside that room, the boos were deafening. I mean, absolutely deafening. That's all I could hear. I couldn't even hear my own self. And so you have to realize in that moment, you're standing in a room where everyone is against you. But I had to keep my mind and know that outside of this city, everyone is with me on this. And that's all.
No one's
no,
with
lady,
you.
nobody is with
shit.
you. Nobody is with you outside of your fascist MAGA bubble. So, all
God.
right, I would like to point out that gladiators went to Colosseums with like tigers and shit, and they just had to like survive. That was their whole thing. So they equated walking or speaking in a room full of a few hundred people.
It's the victim mentality.
Oh
the only thing they identify with, this is the irony, right? They say that everyone on the left is crying and needs safe spaces and is afraid of everything and is their feelings are always hurt. There is no one with any greater persecution complex than American political Christians. Like, you didn't need to add that in there. That was only added in there because Steve Bannon knows his audience. But, like, you're not a victim. You decided to take a stance that is dumb, and you're an illiterate, uneducated person whose only interest is hate and money in their account. And you think that people booing you because you're a fucking moron is being persecuted. Guess what that is, my dear? Free speech. You made a sentence that is dumb, and everyone judged you on it. Congratulations. You just experienced America. Like,
yeah. And again, I always like to point out that she literally asked for a pardon days after she took her oath to uphold the Constitution. She should not even be in Congress. I think she's going to get indicted. I think a lot of these people are going to end up.
I don't know. I honestly,
if they lose, because right now they're under some protection because they're representatives of the United States.
Well, let's see what happens if the Democrats control Congress. By the way, the Republicans' margin is like 1 vote now before the election because all the Republicans keep defecting and leaving and abandoning the shit show that is their party. Let me tell you, if the Democrats have Congress and Senate, these scumbags better watch out.
These people are not gaining new supporters. So for anybody out there, there's nobody on the fence right now that watches like a Marjorie Taylor Greene or Donald Trump talking out of his ass and goes, those are my people. I love those. No, those people, we're already on the Biden side of things. If you haven't made up your mind yet, I'm sorry, but you're an idiot. You are a clear-cut idiot. Your choices are a demented orange person who shits his pants, RFK Jr., who said half of his brain was eaten by a fucking worm, or an old guy who stutters but actually gets stuff done and is trying to take America into the future. Those are your 3 options. Pick one. And to me, it's obvious, and it's actually infuriating that people are still like, I don't know.
I got to look at the facts. Okay.
Yeah, if you still don't know who you're voting for, you're just not paying attention. You're not paying attention. Your head is in the sand, and you need to open your eyes. And you
know what else it is? I'm a little meaner. I think there's something more sinister to that. If at this point you haven't made your mind up, and there are a lot of things you find excusable, and that scares me. How many indictments does it take? How many women? How many civil lawsuits where you are deemed to be a rapist? How much fraud? How many brainworms? How many conspiracy theories do you have to go, yeah, I could see that, to still be undecided?
I know, like RFK Jr. literally thinks that COVID was manufactured to attack certain races. Seriously, these people, it gives me a headache. Just thinking about that we might lose democracy in the fall if people don't wake up and pay attention. I mean, it is so much at stake in this election that it makes me sick to my stomach to just.
But if you listen to the three of them talk and you can't figure it out today, Sunday, Mother's Day, May 12th, 2024, if you can't figure it out just by listening to either of the three of them speak from sometime this past week, there's something wrong with you.
Right. So, yeah, because we're going to get into Trump. We already showed you Biden. Now we showed you Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now we're going to show you the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. Okay? This is what they're making. Mike Johnson went down to Mar-a-Lago to talk to Trump about making it illegal for illegal immigrants to vote. Well, newsflash for everybody. Let me pull up my slide.
That's how that works.
Election law. Can immigrants vote in U.S. elections? This is from World One Law Group. Voting is the cornerstone of our democracy. Elections play a crucial role in shaping our communities and the nation as a whole. While the United States is known for its rich tapestry of immigrants, the requirement for voting in most cases is clear. You must be a United States citizen. You cannot vote. You can go to jail. Immigrants are not going to come here illegally simply to vote in elections illegally and then go to jail.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Deportation.
Also, what are they going to vote on if they can't benefit from any of those things?
Right. So this is their new scare tactic. Are they going to tell all their goobers, all their sheep, all their followers that illegal immigrants are coming to the United States? That Biden is bringing immigrants in from out of the country to vote for him to win the next election. So Mike Johnson was recently asked, do you have proof? And this was their answer. No, but we have a feeling.
Like, come on, we're not making this up. This is absurd.
Grown-ass people. We have a feeling. No proof.
No. So actually, on the first question, I mean, the answer is that it's unanswerable. That is the problem. States are not allowed right now to prove if somebody claims on that simple form that they're a citizen, they can vote. They're not allowed to prove whether it's true or not. We all know intuitively that a lot of illegals are voting in federal elections, but it's not been something that is easily provable. We don't have that number. This legislation will allow us to do exactly that. It will prevent that from happening. And if someone tries to do it, it will now be unlawful, and the states will have a mechanism to prove whether they are or not. And to suggest that this is some sort of revenge tour is kind of a silly notion. What we're doing.
No, it's not. It is actually easily provable. You see articles all the time of people voting twice, going to jail for voting
guess what?
twice.
They're all Republicans, by the way, that do that.
Exactly. And you mean to tell me we've not heard a single instance yet of an illegal immigrant voting in any election, but we still think it's going on. Stop.
This is the problem. He knows that's not really happening. He knows it. I'm not going to say, if I will say one thing about Mike Johnson, is that he is not an idiot. Okay. Everything he does is deliberate. He is one of the people trying to inject Project 2025 into our country. He is not a moron. But what he's doing is, knowing that they are not growing any support, he is hoping that he could do anything he can to maintain what little support is left to try and get Trump a victory. So he's going to the people that hate immigrants, that hate anyone that doesn't look like them, and actually thinks that millions of people are coming across the border every day. Okay. And he's telling them that we can't prove it, but just like you, we know they're doing it. We suspect it. So you can't pass a law on something that you can't prove even is a thing that needs to be addressed, because then he says at the end, and this way, if they do it, then it will be illegal. What
you
will
mean
then
to
be
tell me
illegal?
that-
Voting is. What are you talking about?
So the highest echelon of the United States government with virtually unlimited resources, and they can't prove for sure if illegals are voting in the United States. You know why? Because it's already illegal.
So wait a minute. Could I pass a law banning Christianity because I know, I can't prove it, but I know that Christians are trying to take over this country? Oh, wait. There's more proof of that than there is about illegals voting in elections.
You
So
are
watch what you're
actually
doing.
100% right.
Watch yourself. Because
Exactly.
if the Democrats win and they have grown any testicles since the last time they've had full power, you guys are screwed because you're trying to take over this country. Not illegal people, not brown people. White American Christians are trying to take over this country. And we have the receipts again.
We
This
do.
isn't
We
my
have a lot of
opinion.
them.
This is actual fact.
Yeah. So
So
just
watch
to
what you
remind
do.
everybody that Donald Trump is running around the country saying stuff like this about migrants. This was a couple months ago in Ohio. Just listen to the language.
Years, and if you call them people, I don't know if you call them people. In some cases, they're not people, in my opinion, but I'm not allowed to say that because the radical left says that's a terrible thing to say. They say you have to vote against him because did you hear what he said about humanity? I've seen the humanity, and these are bad, these are animals, okay? And we have to stop it. Begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, larger than that by far of Dwight Eisenhower. You know, Eisenhower had a similar problem, but peanuts by comparison.
I'm not even going to, we've used this video before and we didn't say the name of that operation. You can look it up. Operation, the first word is wet. I'm not going to say the name of the whole thing because it's so derogatory and I hate that term. And my kids are Mexican, so I don't.
The MAGA movement is drooling over the opportunity to see United States soldiers going home to home, ripping brown people out and throwing them over a ditch. When Donald Trump says he's seen them, he's seen the people, he knows they're animals. He's talking about little girls and little boys and moms getting wrangled up in barbed wire and drowning. Okay?
Yeah, they already are.
That's
Yeah.
what he's talking about.
And he said they're not human. He called them animals. He once said that they're poisoning the blood of our country, which is almost a direct Hitler quote. Then they're trying to make it illegal for them to vote, which is stupid. It's just a political stunt because he knows that, see, Mike Johnson's smart enough and Trump is even smart enough, which he's a dimwit, like Forrest Gump level stupid, that his base will not fact check any of this. They will not use their fat little thumbs to go on their smartphones and Google, can illegal immigrants vote? I literally found out the truth in 30 seconds. Not that hard. But what kills me is he'll say stuff like that about people of color, brown people, black people, anybody he wants to, and then goes on a Spanish language channel and acts like he's just this buddy. But here, I have a video of him on a Spanish language channel. And this is again, the dementia is just ripping.
And this is recent.
Apart.
His brain, someone needs to check him for worms.
He doesn't even remember how old Barron is, his own son. He gets his
forgot
age wrong.
to mention Eric. He named every one of his kids and left Eric out.
Eric. And he was reading it off a piece of paper. All right, let me play this video real quick.
Because he's a very young guy, and he's graduating from high school this year. He's a very good student, very smart. And I think that's great. I think it's very interesting, too. But he's pretty young, I will say. He's 17. But if they can do that, I'm all for it. I think I'm all for it. No, I don't fall asleep. I close my eyes sometimes. And, it's very bright in that court, actually. It's also very cold. It's very cold. They got either air conditioning or something. But I don't. I sometimes will sit back, close my eyes. I hear everything perfectly. At some point, I may fall asleep, but I will let you know when that is. No, but for a big portion of trials, you just close your eyes and you listen. I listen very intently. Think about other things. I can. I'm very ambidextrous, so to speak. I can do a lot of things at one time. And I'm willing to do and able to do things and lots of different things.
For
So
those who don't know what ambidextrous means, it doesn't mean you can multitask. And what was the other thing he said? I couldn't even remember. It totally throws me off.
My favorite is that in one breath or sentence, whatever you want to call it, he says, I didn't fall asleep. I keep my eyes closed, and then I may fall asleep, and I'll tell you when I fall asleep.
And then he says,
what does that mean?
He says that's what most people do in court. They sit back, close their eyes, and listen. Like,
if my freedom was on the line, I would be blinking.
I'd be very attentive. And unless
what does it mean? What does it mean he will let us know when he's falling asleep? Is he going to open his eyes, go nap time, and immediately fall back asleep? How do you let someone know that?
Yeah. Like, again, how do you look at this guy and go, oh, yeah, I'm voting for him? I want to give him the ultimate
learn
power.
How old your kids are.
Yeah, at least when you're talking about your son, at least know. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, Judge Juan Rashan, is that the right one? Or is it?
Well, I don't know what you're going to say next.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I probably should have done with it. The judge gave him the day off to go to his son's graduation. Because we played videos where Trump was whining and bitching. He won't even let me go to my son's graduation. He won't let me
go to my son's graduation.
Even though he's not been to his 4 other kids' graduation, he was making a big deal out of Barron's. Well, guess what? He's actually scheduled as a keynote speaker in another state on Barron's graduation. So I can't wait to see how the judge reacts to that one. That should be hilarious. I mean, Donald Trump right now is basically walking around with a for sale sign on his neck. I mean, this guy is, to the highest bidder he goes. It really gets, it's bad. He was recently at, I don't remember if this was at Mar-a-Lago, but he recently told a bunch of oil execs that if they gave him $1 billion, that he would, well, let me read it. Dangled a brazen deal, in quotes, in front of some of the top U.S. oil bosses last month, proposing they give him $1 billion for his White House re-election campaign and vowing that that once back in office, he would instantly tear up Joe Biden's environmental regulations and prevent any new ones. That's not donations, guys. That's called bribery. Donations is when you say you like Donald Trump and you like his policies, even though he doesn't have any. But that's the reason you donate money, to get that person into the White House so they can enact those policies that you like. When a presidential candidate is going to CEOs of oil companies going, look, you give me money and I will do this. That's called a bribe. Okay? Or it can't possibly be legal. Can't possibly, but this is the world we live in.
It's also scumbacious. You're basically saying, hey, rich assholes, give me a ridiculous amount of money and I will do everything possible to make sure you can do whatever you want and not get in trouble for it.
Exactly.
It's exactly
what it is.
You're talking about, forget, he's not a Republican. He's a Trump. Okay, so let's always forget that he's not a party guy. Donald Trump is one of those people that deep in his body parts, I'm not going to say heart or anything, he knows that if he has enough money and the world is ending, he might be able to buy a rocket ship. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care about the planet. He doesn't care about the future. He doesn't care about his children's future because he doesn't care about his children. All he cares about is what he can have right this moment, and he will do whatever he can to secure it. And if he could screw our entire planet to do it, he'll do it. And he's telling you he'll do it.
And we played a video before, I believe, or we posted it as a short, where Donald Trump, one of the first things he wants to do when he gets back into office is consolidate as much power under the executive branch as he possibly can, essentially making him king of America.
Which is something we all learned in like 4th grade, why we have 3 equal but separate branches of government.
Right. Donald Trump is the whole reason we left the British, the reason we started the United States. Donald Trump is the reason we exist, but not in the right way. Like, he's the whole reason we formed a country. We don't want to have a monarch. We don't want to have a absolute ruler over this country. It's for the people, by the people, not for Donald Trump. Stop.
And also, Remember when we were seeing some of the campaign signs people would hang up that was like Donald 2024, Don Jr. 2028, Barron 2036.
Exactly.
Talking about people who want a hereditary monarchy. And if those words are too big for you, you might be a Trump supporter because you don't understand what that means.
Right.
There's never going to be a time where you get what you want. If you install the Trumps, you better have something you could provide him or you are worthless. But you don't understand that because you don't care about anything but yourself. You don't understand the context of which you are fighting for a monarchy. That's what these people are doing.
You're right. You're absolutely right. They are. And it would be the end of everything as we know it. And the problem is, like, I would personally leave the country if Donald Trump if this were to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's how serious I think this is. Because people like me and Mike, they would come after us because of our ideals, the way we talk. I mean, it's how serious this is. We get a knock on the door, and there could be military out there
passing laws where you are legally not allowed to criticize Israel.
Right, exactly. I mean, and if
what do you think they will do if they win power and you try and criticize them?
Unbelievable. It's terrifying, and people support this, but it's so bad that even Fox News has slammed Donald Trump for this shady backroom deal. Let me play this. I was actually surprised on this one. Listen to she explains it very well. Listen to this. Again, it's called bribery, not donations.
Trump reportedly made a big promise to oil CEOs. What did he tell them?
This is according to the Washington Post. He said, give me $1 billion and I will cut Biden's emission rules and I'll lift the freeze on natural gas permits and other things.
What do you mean, give me $1 billion?
Fundraising.
To his campaign?
Fundraising. Yeah. I need your money and your support, and I'll do things that'll help you. He reportedly met with executives from the big companies, Exxon, Chevron, and some of the smaller players, too. I spoke with an oil man who did not attend the meeting at Mar-a-Lago. He said, look, I love Trump, but $1 billion is a big ask. It is not a deal. Because Trump said, I'll give you a deal. I'll do all these things.
I love him. I don't love him that much.
Pony up the $1 billion, but that's apparently.
That's just so typical.
See, that's not donating to a campaign.
Well,
that is straight up.
What else is funny is that everyone knows, okay, we're at the point now where that money is not going to do anything other than pay his legal bills, of which he's already basically refuses to pay most of them anyway. But at some point, he's got to pay someone. Otherwise, they're just going to walk away from him. So when you ask for $1 billion, that's for his legal bills, guys. And you know what? Rich people, rich assholes, billionaires, they want something for their money. And they know that they are not going to get anything at this point to give Donald Trump money because he's not only a losing bet, he's currently going down the toilet. Okay?
Yeah, mentally.
They're not going to give him $1 billion. It's funny that I'm about to say this, but they might throw him a couple of mil. Here's 10 mil. Bleh. $1 billion?
Pocket changing these people.
They're not giving out $1 billion to Donald Trump.
No, I think it shows that I think it shows that Donald Trump's in a worse position and is more desperate than we originally thought. We've reported before that the RNC is broke. They're not opening. If anything, they're closing
everywhere. Offices everywhere.
Yeah, voting register voter offices or campaign offices. I'm sorry,
there it is.
Across the country. They axed a ton of people from the RNC. They're basically funneling all the money into Donald Trump's pocket, leaving no money for any other candidate. Yeah. So
don't forget, Republicans, or anyone, when you donate, forget the fact that money is going to his legal bills. Think about what that means. That means none of that money is going to win the election in your town, in your city, in your state. Okay, those seats that are up for grabs because you've already elected morons and people are sick of them, those Democrats are going to win because their money is going to help those campaigns when all the money you donate to help those Republican candidates is going to Donald Trump. Exactly. You're literally just throwing your money away for nothing.
Sure, keep going. Let me see. You know what? I'll end with you know what? I got a couple more videos. So let's do the NFT one first. So Donald Trump is at Mar-a-Lago having another look at me event. Where the people that bought you have to buy all the NFTs to be able to get a Mar-a-Lago dinner or whatever you want to call it. But this is Donald Trump speaking to these people.
You had to help launder money to get a shitty meal at Mar-a-Lago is basically what's happening.
Yeah, these people basically paid tens of thousands of dollars just to watch Trump ramble like a maniac. So
but they got a lot of good digital images of him photoshopped with muscles, so at least they got that.
I know it's quite literally just Donald Trump's head on other people's bodies. It's so dumb. And here he is talking about that people love him and he should bring out a 4th edition. Oh, dear God. Where does it end? The grift never stops.
I also had one of these, I'd say probably 7 or 8 months ago. Who was here at the last one, you know? I was so impressed by the love of me and the love of the country and the spirit in that room that when we did the last one, I said, just do it at 99. But I don't know, they're all saying outside, they're saying, when are you going to do a 4th? And I'm saying, I think if I do a 4th, don't you dilute it a little bit? And they said, no, you don't dilute it. We want to do a 4th. Then we had some good ideas. Somebody said, you can only buy the 4th if you haven't sold any of the 3. I said, that's interesting. You know, create an incentive, but we'll decide.
He has no idea
that's going to hurt
what they are or how they work.
So we'll decide.
Look, I have all my rich people. Look, see those people? That guy, see, they're shaking hands on a deal. Look. They just shook hands on a $10 billion deal. They're trying to figure out how do they get advertising like that.
All right, so there's one thing I picked up on that conversation when Donald Trump was saying something. He said, was anybody here before? And some people cheered, which means some of the idiots in that audience have bought full sets, multiple sets of Donald Trump's NFTs and have gotten multiple trips to Mar-a-Lago. But see, we always say it. Mike says it all the time. Donald Trump is transactional. If you do something that benefits Donald Trump's wallet, then he'll do something for you in return. But if you got nothing for him, or if you cross him, you're out immediately.
And don't
to anybody.
What Jeremy said is incredibly important about doing something for him. See, that's the key. He will spend money when it benefits him, but there's a reason he doesn't pay workers or his lawyers. He doesn't believe he should have to pay them, so he doesn't, because they're not giving him anything personally.
Well, New Jersey's a perfect example. They wouldn't let him hold the Wildwood, New Jersey rally because he stiffed them the last time, so they made him pay up front. And then, like we showed you, I'm gonna show it again. This is what they left behind in New Jersey. This is what Donald Trump leaves in his wake. Nothing but garbage, destruction, and bullshit.
And dirty diapers.
Yep. So, yeah, there's got to be. I got it, man.
There's one that
drive to New Jersey.
Think about this. I'm not making fun out of anyone who happens to need diapers. Honestly not. I'm making fun of people who are willingly shitting in their pants to own the libs.
There's people walking around Trump events. We showed a picture. They buy Donald Trump branded diapers that I don't think Donald Trump knows about yet because he hasn't said anything. I can't imagine he's very happy with this.
He'll sue them for using his name. Watch.
They will put them on and walk around with these diapers over top of their pants. Like, you look like morons.
And they're like, haha, stupid libs.
Idiots. I know, stupid libs. Yeah, we like that he shits in his diaper. What? Oh my God, y'all. All right. So we're gonna end the show on a couple things from Truth Social. I think that sounds like a good way to stop the show. First, we're gonna show Trump. I actually titled this slide "Whiny Little Bitch" because that's all he does on Truth Social.
That's all he does.
This is one of his posts. Judge Juan Merchan, that was his name, refused to put a gag order on the people that are truly out of control. Only the president who created it. Me.
What does that mean? Wait. The judge refused to put a gag order on other people? What gag order? On who? You're the freaking defendant. You're the one that's in trouble. You're the one on trial. Like,
I'm sorry. I know, right? You're the criminal defendant, dickhead. Nobody else is on trial but you. They can say whatever the hell they want.
Oh my God.
They're not on trial.
Oh my God.
But it just makes me laugh every time when he puts me an exclamation point.
You keep talking. there's no such thing as your removal of your First Amendment rights, guy. He literally just said, "Don't make fun of these 3 people."
Yeah, and for somebody
that have nothing
gagged,
to do with your campaign, don't make fun of these 3 people. And he's like, "Oh, my free speech is gone."
You know how many videos I've watched of Donald Trump complaining about the gag order? Like, dude, you're literally talking right now. If you were gagged, you would shut up. But no, but I got to pull this up again because I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, no.
While you were talking, but I just love how he always has to clarify for his followers who he's talking about. So if you see the big old me,
that's true
all the time. Like if he doesn't say
president,
your favorite president, me. Like if you didn't put that there, they'd be like, "Who's he talking about?"
I've never seen someone who needs more praise and just like an attaboy. He's just so empty inside.
I know. And this is what they're saying about the left on Fox News. Donald Trump reposted this clip from Jesse Waters, his absolute favorite bootlicker. Oh, we got to talk about the whole thing where I think he used Janine Shapiro, or whatever her last name, because he was in court. Then he actually said, "I need to speak to Judge Janine."
Yep.
And then she goes on her show and completely berates the witnesses and the judge.
That's what Alina Habba's doing. Alina Habba is there during trial and then afterwards goes on shows and then bashes the witness and says the trial isn't going as well. That's going to get him, hopefully, maybe, but that's still
by proxy. That's what it's called, by proxy. When you have somebody else doing it for you and people overheard you say, "I need to speak to this person on Fox News."
It goes to his mentality. That's what a child thinks, right? Don't touch that. Well, I didn't really touch it. You still did it. You still did it.
All right. So this video is hilarious to me because they think that we are very sad people on the left. There's no joy on the left, apparently. This is so good.
They wanted to arrest this guy for a decade, and now that he's in court, they're complaining? Like a dog chasing a car. As soon as they catch it, they don't know what to do. Democrats aren't happy no matter what happens.
Has anyone ever noticed that there's just no happiness on the left? They're not happy. They're not happy people.
There's a lot of anger, confusion, and sadness in the Democrat Party.
I could post 3 pictures of Trump making the same face.
They could use a therapist.
But that video that Jesse Waters played, so Donald Trump played a clip from Jesse Waters of Jesse Waters playing a clip of Donald Trump. It's so stupid. Because that clip Jesse Waters showed was a video from Donald Trump's True Social feed. But yeah, that's what they think. They think that we're all sad. We need therapists. And we're angry. And it's like, yeah, we're angry because you guys are ruining an entire country. The minority politics of this country right now is ruining it for everybody else. It drives us both absolutely insane. So, but yeah, that's about it for today's show. We actually got all through the material quicker than I thought. And I know you got a lot of family coming over, so I wanted to cut it short a little bit. You got anything else you want to add, Mike, before we get the hell out of here?
I don't know, man. Things are getting, things are getting so weird. Like, I don't even understand what we see half the time. Like, we spend way too much time looking at videos and clips and reading articles and like, I think everyone's starting to be brain dead. I don't even know what we're talking about half the time. Like we're dealing with things and people and scenarios that are so dumb. How are we here? I don't know. But
no, I mean, it truly is dystopian. I mean, we have a Congress that's holding, hearings on washers and dryers and gas stoves and stuff. But that's the reality we live in. Look, our elected officials.
Have a good Parents' Day, because I'm personally one of those people that doesn't really like calling out which parent you might or might not have. So just love your parents, love each other. Please get the people in your life that are willing to vote to show up on Election Day, and get ready for Monday because shit's about to hit the fan again like it does every Monday.
I know, right? And Michael Cohen's going to be testifying this week, so we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Oh, God.
I don't know how much more I can take after Stormy Daniels said that Donald Trump said to her before sex, "You look like my daughter." I was like, I'm out. This is too much. The dude is disgusting. He's reprehensible. He's a narcissist, and he's a danger not only to the environment, the entire world. The entire world, people. Wake up. Get with the program. if you don't like watching the news, watch podcasts like ours. At least we make fun of stuff and what we actually show you.
That's
what's
honestly
going on.
what I know got you into it, because there's a delivery mechanism that I think is a little stale, which is broadcast news. And since most of it is just propaganda now, you really need to find people that rely on facts to tell jokes so that you don't hang yourself. And again, that was probably distasteful, but like, let me tell you, there's a lot of people that are feeling really freaking dark right now. And if you just watch the news, you will walk in front of a bus. So find a way to get the delivery of the news and the facts into you that will help you laugh a little bit. That's all I can suggest.
Yeah, we have to laugh so we're not screaming. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. But anyway, we'll be back on Tuesday. We will have some clips of Donald Trump's New Jersey rally that was over before it was over.
Only Donald Trump could have a rally that's ending as it's happening. But
yeah, no kidding. It was pretty much empty by the time he was done talking. But anyway, we'll get into that on Tuesday. Have a good rest of your Mother's Day, and like always, guys, we'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.
We have more liquid gold and wealth under our feet than any other nation. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas, more liquid gold. Well, I just met non-liquid gold. You know where it was? Iowa. It's called corn. It's non-liquid. That's much. You have more non-liquid gold. They said, what is that? I said, corn. They said, we love that idea. You know, that's a pretty cool thought, isn't it? That's a nickname in its own way, but we came up with a new couple of words for corn.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.